They are nearly 500,000 strong. Powerless, though, when it comes to whether or not they'll have their lives turned upside down. That's the reality for the people living in the United States as part of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, commonly known as DACA. They, just like most Americans, are paying very close attention to the upcoming presidential election. ABC's Maria Elena Salinas tells us the story of one man who is hoping he won't be separated from his children like his mother was from him.
5 years ago, my first child, Zoe, was born. I remember holding those tiny hands and feeling like the luckiest man in the world. I also remember my mom telling me that Zoe was born an American citizen, and because of that, she would have a much better life than we did. But with that looming threat of the end of DACA, I am starting to worry that I might not be able to stay in this country and see my children grow.
Angel Reyes Rivas has been writing letters like this one for years, pleading for a solution. An end to the never-ending limbo DACA recipients have been living in.
I didn't really think there was going to be a movement of like, we want you out of here, right?
President Trump ending the DACA program, saying Congress must now decide the fate of the so-called dreamers.
Immigrants are welcome here! Since 2017, the more than 500,000 people protected under DACA have seen the policy be rescinded, reinstated, and then challenged in court over and over again. 7 years and 2 administrations later, the program is still in jeopardy, and thousands of lives still upended.
I don't really want to think about it, right? Now that I have a wife, I have children, I know I'm going to do my best to provide for them. So it is concerning the possibility of, being separated from them, right? And also it brings me back to what happened with my mom and my brother, right? I don't want them to go through something like that. Like this was when the year that I came, I was 15, my brother was 11, and that's my mom.
Angel has been living in the U.S. for 19 years, more than half of his life. Originally from Peru, he arrived in New York with his mom and his little brother. His mother, a single undocumented mom, wanted to give them a better life until a traffic offense changed everything. Angel's mother was detained and held in the Nassau County Jail.
I was 17 at the time because we didn't know who to call. We didn't know what to do. Our mom got to call us and she told us that immigration got her case, that she was most likely going to be deported.
Angel's mom was detained for 6 months and ultimately deported back to Peru.
I actually thought that I was going to go back along with my brother, but one of the first things that she asked me was not to come back. She's like, you stay, you're 18, you can go to school. I believe that you can do great things.
With that hope but no support or immigration status, Angel stayed alone and kept working to support himself and help his mom in Peru, living in limbo until June 15, 2012.
Over the next few months, eligible individuals who do not present a risk to national security or public safety will be able to request temporary relief from deportation proceedings and apply for work authorization.
The policy, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, known as DACA, protected over 500,000 dreamers brought to the U.S. as minors, shielding them from deportation and allowing them to work legally in the U.S. Recipients were asked to renew their status every 2 years, pass background checks, and pay fees to remain eligible. The policy did not provide them with a path to permanent residency or citizenship.
The first thing that I did, I remember, was calling my mom and telling her, I don't have the fear of being deported anymore. And that certainly changed my life, right? And it made me feel like, okay, I was now integrating myself a little bit more to society.
Angel was able to get a better job and move up in his company. As time passed, he fell in love and got married. And then his life was thrown once again in limbo.
I'm here today to announce that the program known as DACA that was effectuated under the Obama administration is being rescinded.
After the Trump administration's attempt to rescind the policy, in 2020, the Supreme Court ruled that the administration had acted improperly in terminating DACA and that the program would remain in place. But a year later, with President Biden in the White House, A judge in Texas ruled the program was illegal, blocking the Department of Homeland Security from approving new DACA applications. Since then, Dreamers have been contending the Texas court in the Fifth Court of Appeals.
When DACA is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back!
In early October, the court once again heard arguments in what the Dreamers' attorneys think could be the last hearing in the case.
Texas is arguing that if DACA goes away, that people who have DACA will leave the United States. But that's not consistent with what DACA recipients have said themselves, which is that this is the country they know, this is their country of home, and this is where they plan to stay.
Home is here! Home is here! The Fifth Circuit has ruled against DACA in the past, right? We know it's a conservative court. And we know that we don't really expect the best possible scenario.
Meanwhile, Congress has been unable to pass any immigration reform that would grant legal status to DACA recipients like Angel.
I'm hopeful that Congress is still trying to find a solution for it. I hope that, they're not giving up on this pro-immigrant, narrative, because I know that a lot of them have been getting more strict on immigration. But I know a pathway to citizenship is also a way to reform the system and to improve the life of a lot of Americans, right? So I'm hopeful that, they haven't failed yet because they haven't given up, that we will see a solution in the upcoming years.
Hope is what keeps Angel pushing forward in times of fear and uncertainty. Hope that there will be an end to this limbo and that the future will be bright for him and his family.
So I want my kids to grow up with a sense of pride in the country that they've been born. As they get older, I want to tell them, you were born in this nation, but it's gotten a lot better and it's going to keep getting better.
So much at stake in this election, just days away now. Still much more to get to tonight. Coming up, Dodgers fans celebrate their World Series win. We're going to take a look at their road to the championship by the numbers.